I am not even gonna lie, guys. I am tired. I feel like the year-end fatigue is slowly creeping in because this past week, my brain was stretched, flipped, turned upside down, shaken, stirred, everything that you can think of. And I am exhausted. But we're here. We are showing up and we're being consistent. Welcome to another episode of This May Be Nothing. And just like that, guys, it's another week, it's another episode. And usually I'd introduce myself and then say something relatively funny, but I don't have it in me. I'm not even gonna lie. I do not have it in me. I'm exhausted. I am tired. And this past week, I had a phone call with my sister and my niece, and I felt guilty because I took up majority of that call just complaining and venting. And yeah, I needed to get some stuff off my chest. Let me put it that way. And what I really do appreciate, especially about those two, is that they hold space for me to say what I needed to say, and they met me with so much grace. Because as much as like the next morning I felt a little bit heavy, like I did shed a little tear. I was like, oh my goodness, guys. Um, so shout out to them for being awesome. But yeah, guys, like what a week. I don't know about you guys. Year-end fatigue is slowly starting to creep in. And I'm looking at my leave days like, oh, we need to be strategic about this. You know, we need to take some time to rest. And with that, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, I keep telling myself that I just want softness. Okay, I want a softer life. I want slower mornings. I want more ease, less reacting, more breathing. You know, I do. I want these things so badly. I mean, who doesn't? Don't you? Who doesn't want to not fight for their life all the time? I feel like I'm fighting for my life. Every single day, I'm fighting for my life. I get up in the morning and I'm just like, oh, here we go. Brace yourself. But the truth is, I have got some really hard edges that I'm trying to work through. And I'm not talking about it like in a mean girl type of way when I say hard edges, just in the way I brace for things. You know, in a way I double check if people mean what they say. In a way I say, you know what, no, it's fine. It's okay. It's whatever. When in actual fact, I barely even know what I'm feeling in that moment. And some of it is life. Yeah, I am an adult. I'm a young adult and I'm just trying to figure things out. Some of it is work. Some of it is years of just trying to be taken seriously. And now I'm realizing you can crave all the peace and all the softness and still carry protection. And I'm not talking about like a 9 millimeter. That's not what I mean. Like, I want rest, but who's going to catch me if I stop working? I want ease, but I've built my identity around being capable. I can do it. Don't worry. I want softness, but I've learned over the years not to trust anything that feels too safe. Like, what do you mean? I always have that Johnny Bravo eyebrow up. You know, I'm just like, I'm watching you. So, yeah, let's talk about that tension. The craving for a softer life, but the edges won't let us fully lean into it yet. You see, I think soft life looks amazing when you see it online, right? The clean sheets, the slow mornings, the no alarm, no stress type of energy. Like that looks good. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I can scroll on TikTok and Instagram Reels and just like really dive into it. And it's curated piece. And I respect it. I really do. I'm not gonna lie. But here's the part I think we don't talk about enough. Just like everything, it costs us. Okay. And it's not costing us money. Although, if we think about it, the aesthetic of softness can be a bit expensive, right? But I'm talking about emotional cost. Because even when you crave out softness, your nervous system might still be in survival mode. And then what? You're sitting there in your soft robe in some hotel room somewhere, drinking your herbal tea, and your brain automatically goes, oh my goodness, did we respond to that email? The one thing that really did shock me and nearly gave me a panic attack, and it sounds, actually, no, it's not dumb. You really should be doing this. I freaked out over the fact that I didn't put in my out of office. And yeah, that did a number on me. You ask yourself, did we circle back in that meeting? Like, are we even allowed to rest at this point? Can we even relax? And that's what work has done to some of us, myself included. Even when you're off, you're not really off. You know what I mean? Even when you try to create some sort of softness, your body is still wired for agency. So, yeah, the soft life is a goal, but for a lot of us, it also feels like a setup. And I don't like that. I don't like being set up. So let's be honest. These edges that we're talking about, they aren't random. We didn't just wake up one moment and we're like, you know what? I'm just going to be cold and standoffish. These edges that we're talking about, they were formed in really real ways. Like, I'm talking deadlines that didn't care about your anxiety, bosses who praised you for going above and beyond but never actually protected your time. Maybe it was even family dynamics where you had to be the reliable one. Maybe, just maybe, even relationships where you felt like you had to prove you were worthy of love. So we got sharp, we got efficient, and now we're on guard. But now a lot of us we're just running on fumes. I am running on fumes. Like, how did we even get here? Where a calendar notification makes your chest tighten up. Why does it feel like rest is something we need to earn? And I think a lot about these edges. I've got this mask. That was necessary too at some point, But now it's just becoming too heavy. We're over-functioning, we're over-delivering, we are definitely overthinking and under-supported. That edge helped us survive, but it's not built for softness. Let's be real with one another. Just like everything else in life, here I'm learning in real time that softness isn't the opposite of boundaries, right? Softness just requires boundaries, but not the tough love, hat off culture kind. Not everything needs a block button. Like, we can calm down with that. Just chill. Sometimes it's just saying, I need time, or I can't take that on right now. One of my favorites has become, I care, but I can't carry that for you. That is softness, not because it's passive, but because it's rooted in care for yourself and for others. I think work culture has taught us that boundaries were confrontational, but they're actually the thing that makes softness sustainable. Because you can't be soft when you're constantly being pulled in 12 different directions. Like, that's not viable. That doesn't make sense. Now, if you're still listening, chances are you're in the in-between. You want softness and you're trying, but the edges aren't all gone yet. Maybe you're still over-explaining when you say no. I definitely am. Maybe you check Slack on weekends, even though you're not supposed to. Maybe you romanticize rest but feel guilty the second you take it, and that's okay. This whole thing isn't about nailing the soft life perfectly. It's about noticing that parts of you are trying to let that go. Oh, I am speaking to the choir right now. Noticing that there are parts that still flinch, and noticing where your edges have served you and where it's starting to crack under the pressure. Softness isn't a destination, it's a practice. Okay, and sometimes I want to practice putting cucumbers on my eyelids and waking up with a hot towel on my face. And some days it feels easy, like what I just mentioned. And other days, Lord be with us. We just need to remind ourselves that we are allowed to want more than just survive. And I think it's only fair that gentle accountability is this week's main character. She is not here to drag you. She's not clapping back. She's not making a thread. She's that quiet voice that says, hey, I know you're tired, but you still matter. Don't disappear on yourself. She holds space. She asks, what do you need to feel safe enough to rest? She reminds you that doing less doesn't mean you're less. She doesn't yell. She doesn't rush. She's soft, but she sees everything. And so, yeah, guys, this is a little bit shorter this week, this episode. I just feel like this week really it pulled a number on me. I'm not going to lie. And I think every morning I'd wake up imagining what life would be like if I didn't have to rush outside my house all the time because I need to get to work, or I need to get to this appointment, or I need to do this thing. But yeah, guys, this may be nothing, but the soft life isn't about how slow your mornings are. Actually, now that I say it out loud, or how pretty your space looks. Maybe it's about building the capacity to rest, to feel, to not be ruled by urgency, to hold yourself and others a little bit more gently. If you're trying to live with fewer hard edges, I see you. I stand with you. It takes real courage to soften in a world that taught us to throw hands. Let's be real. But until next time, same mic, same chaos, same courage.